You've probably heard it a dozen times. South Korea is expensive. A dream trip for sure, but one that'll leave your wallet empty. Well, what if I told you that you could have a life-changing adventure there for just $15 a day? I know, it sounds crazy. So I decided to put it to the test. This isn't just about saving money. It's about proving that you can still eat amazing food, see incredible sights, and have an authentic experience on a budget that most people would call impossible. This is your playbook for doing Korea differently. All right, let's get real. $15 a day in Seoul, one of the most modern and yes, pricey cities on the planet? It sounds completely nuts. Most backpackers budget around $40 to $50 a day here, and even that's considered pretty frugal. So this isn't just a guide, it's a challenge. A mission to see if it can actually be done without just, starving in a park. The biggest issue for any budget traveler in Korea is what I call the 3 budget killers: accommodation, food, and transport. A normal tourist can easily burn through $60, $80, even $100 a day on just these 3 things. Our mission is to crush those costs. We're going to find the loopholes, the local secrets, and the hacks that make a trip like this possible. Here's the battle plan. For a place to sleep, we're ditching hotels and even most hostels. We're diving into the world of ultra-budget guest houses and the uniquely Korean jjimjilbang. For getting around, it's all about one magic card, the T-money card, and our own 2 feet. And for food? Oh, we're going to feast like royalty in the kingdom of convenience stores and street food markets. This is a 3-day experiment. I'm starting with $45 for 72 hours in Seoul. I'll track every single one and I'll show you everything. The wins, the struggles, and the final, honest total. Can it be done? Let's find out. Like most trips here, my journey starts at Incheon International Airport. The first test is just getting to Seoul without blowing the whole day's budget. Forget the pricey express trains or airport buses. Your secret weapon is the AREX all-stop train. It takes a little longer, but you can't beat the price. A ticket to Seoul Station is about 4,751, which is less than $4. That's our first win. An hour later, I'm at the massive Seoul Station. First things first, you need a T-money card. Do not skip this. You can grab one at any convenience store for about 4,001. Think of it as your key to the city. Using it for subways and buses gets you a discount on every single ride and free transfers. A basic subway ride costs around 1,401 with the card. I loaded mine with 10,001, which is about $7. With some smart planning, that should last a few days. Now for the biggest challenge, accommodation. A typical hostel dorm bed in Seoul runs from 14,000 to 25,001, or roughly $10 to $18. If I paid that, my $15 budget would be gone before I even ate. So for night 1, I'm going with a classic Korean budget hack, the jjimjilbang. A jjimjilbang is a 24-hour public bathhouse. For most people, it's a place to soak in hot tubs and sweat in saunas. But for a budget traveler, it's also the cheapest bed in town. An overnight stay usually costs between 15,000 and 20,001, about $11 to $15. I found a local spot, Salom Sauna, for around 15,001. You sleep on mats in a big communal room, so it's not a private experience, but it's clean, safe, and a wild cultural experience. Plus, you get to use all the baths and saunas. It's an activity and a bed in one. With my bed for the night sorted, it's time for dinner at a budget foodie paradise, the convenience store. Forget sad, stale sandwiches. We're talking surprisingly good meals for dirt cheap. Tonight's feast features a triangle kimbap, a rice ball filled with tuna mayo, for about 1,201. To go with it, a cup of instant ramyun for 1,001. And of course, the iconic banana milk for dessert, which now goes for about 1,801 thanks to recent price hikes. I use the hot water dispenser in the store, and boom, a hot, filling meal. Total cost for dinner, just under 4,001, or about $3. My entertainment for the evening is totally free. I'm just exploring the neighborhood around my jjimjilbang on foot, soaking in the neon lights and the city's energy. Walking is the best way to find those hidden alleys and local spots you'd miss on a subway. Before bed, I change into the provided pajamas and spend an hour in the therapeutic hot pools, the perfect end to a long travel day. So let's tally up day 1. AREX train, 4,751. T-money card purchase, 4,001. Jjimjilbang stay, 15,001. Dinner, 4,001. Day 1. Total, 27,151, or about 20.75s. Okay, so I already blew the budget on day 1. The T-Money card is a one-time cost, but that Jim Jill Bang still ate up most of my allowance. This is going to be way tougher than I imagined. I have to be smarter tomorrow. Waking up on a heated floor with a bunch of strangers is an experience, but I feel surprisingly rested. I grab my bag, check out of the Jim Jill Bang, and start day 2 with one goal: claw back some of yesterday's overspending. Breakfast is another convenience store run. This time, I'm keeping it simple with an onigiri and a canned coffee for 901. Total cost? Around 2,101, less than $2. Today is Culture Day, and the first stop is the grandest of them all, Gyeongbokgung Palace. This place is absolutely massive and stunning. And the best part? The entrance fee is only 3,001, just over 2. It's one of the best deals you'll find in any major city on Earth. I spend the morning here, making sure to catch the free changing of the Royal Guard ceremony out front. It's an incredible display that makes you feel like you've traveled back in time. You can easily spend hours wandering the grounds, and it costs less than a latte. A great tip: if you rent and wear a traditional hanbok, you get into the palace for free. Renting one starts around 10,001, but if you want that perfect photo, it's worth considering. Also, if you plan to visit multiple palaces, look into the 10,001 Royal Palace Pass. It gets you into all 5 major palaces and can be a great value. After the palace, I take a short walk to Bukchon Hanok Village. It's a real residential neighborhood full of beautifully preserved traditional houses. It's completely free to wander the hilly, winding streets. The views from the top, looking over the traditional rooftops with the modern city in the distance, are just breathtaking. Another few hours of exploring that cost 0 By now, I'm starving. It's time to head to a foodie mecca, Gwangjang Market. This is one of Korea's oldest and biggest markets, and it's a total sensory explosion. The air is thick with the steam from dumplings and the sizzle of pancakes. This is where we find our budget lunch. I push through the crowded aisles to the food stalls, a wonderful, chaotic collection of benches packed with people. I'm here for 2 things. First, binda eteok, a giant mung bean pancake. It's savory, crispy, and easily a meal by itself. One of these costs about 5,001, or roughly $4. Next, I grab some mayak kimbap. The name literally means narcotic kimbap, because they're supposedly that addictive. They're little seaweed rice rolls served with a tangy mustard sauce. A full portion is about 3,001. My entire lunch at one of Seoul's most famous markets, a massive pancake and a pile of kimbap, comes out to 8,001, or about $6. It's a feast. If you're finding these budget hacks helpful and you want to see more ways to make your travel dreams happen, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it honestly helps a ton. Now let's see if I can find an even cheaper bed for tonight. With a full stomach, I spend the afternoon exploring another free gem, the Cheonggyecheon Stream. It's a revitalized stream that runs for miles through downtown Seoul, sitting below street level. With walking paths, bridges, and waterfalls, it's a beautiful urban oasis where locals hang out. It's the perfect spot to just walk, sit, and people watch for a few hours. As evening sets in, the accommodation problem is back. I can't afford another 15,001 night if I want to stay on budget. After spending what felt like hours searching online, I found what has to be one of the cheapest hostels in Seoul. It's not in a prime tourist spot, but it's near a subway. I managed to book a dorm bed for 14,001, about $10. It's basic, but it's clean and safe. Booking ahead and being flexible on location is everything when you're on a tight budget. For dinner, I'm back at the convenience store. But tonight, I'm trying a dosirak, which is a packed lunchbox. They're super popular and offer a complete meal, rice, a main like bulgogi or spicy pork, and a few side dishes, all for around 4,500 to 5,501. It's a proper meal that would cost 3 times as much in a restaurant. I grab one of those and a bottle of water. Total, 5,501, about $4. Let's review the damage for day 2. Breakfast, 2,101. Gyeongbokgung Palace, 3,001. Lunch at Gwangjang Market, 8,001. Hostel, 14,001. Dinner, 5,501. Subway rides, 2,801. The grand total for day 2 is 35,401, or about $26.50. Yikes! I am failing this challenge spectacularly. Even with super cheap food and free activities, the cost of a bed is just brutal on a 15-a-day budget. This really shows how tough this is. But I have one more day to try and bring the average down. On my final day, the mission is simple. Spend as little as humanly possible. My hostel doesn't have breakfast, so I start the day with a 1001 microwave rice bowl from a GS25 and add an 801 packet of instant soup. Breakfast for under $150. Today, I'm exploring the young, energetic neighborhood of Hongdae. It's home to a big arts university, so the streets are buzzing with creative energy, cool fashion, and aspiring K-pop stars busking on every corner. It costs nothing to walk around, soak it all in, and watch these incredibly talented performers. It's honestly one of the best free shows in Seoul. For a different view of the city, I decide to do some urban hiking. Seoul is surrounded by mountains that are surprisingly easy to get to by subway. I take a short ride to Ansan Mountain, which has a gentle walking trail called the Ansan Jarak Gil. It's a wooden deck path that circles the mountain, offering stunning panoramic views of the entire city. It feels like a world away from the hustle below, and it is 100% free. A total must-do for any budget traveler. After the hike, I'm ready for my last meal. I head back to Hongdae to find a cheap local spot for tteokbokki. These spicy rice cakes are the quintessential Korean street food. You can find little shops selling huge portions for just 4,000 to 5,000 won. I find a place dishing out a big plate for 4,000 won. It's spicy, filling, and the perfect cheap meal to wrap things up. I don't have to pay for a bed tonight since my flight leaves late. This is a classic budget travel hack. Book an overnight flight or bus to save on one night's lodging. I'll be departing from the airport later this evening. So the total for day 3. Breakfast, 1,801. Subway rides, 2,801. Lunch, tteokbokki, 4,001. My total for day 3 is a shockingly low 8,601, or about $650. Finally, a day under budget. So, after 3 days, what's the final verdict? Let's add it all up. Day 1, 27,751, 2,075. Day 2, 35,401, 2,650. Day 3, 8,601, 650. The grand total for my 3 days in Seoul is 71,751. My goal was $45, which is about 60,000 won. This puts my daily average at about 23,916 won, or roughly $18 a day. So, is the 15-a-day challenge possible? My honest answer is no, not really. Not in a way that's sustainable or repeatable for most travelers. As you saw, accommodation is the single biggest hurdle. Even the cheapest bed will eat up nearly your entire daily budget. To truly hit that $15 mark every single day, you'd probably need to couch surf for free, which is a whole other kind of travel. However, averaging under $18 a day is still unbelievably cheap for a city like Seoul, and it proves that South Korea doesn't have to break the bank. By using the T-Money card, embracing convenience store food, feasting at street markets, and taking advantage of all the amazing free attractions, you can have a phenomenal trip on a tiny budget. Maybe the point isn't that you can do it for $15 a day. It's that by aiming for an impossible number, you force yourself to travel more creatively, discover local spots, and have a more rewarding experience. South Korea is incredible, and money shouldn't be the thing that stops you from seeing it. Got a genius travel hack that saved you big? Share it below. I love hearing how other travelers make it work. Thanks for coming along, stay safe, and see you next time.